The wind has been insane today. It was like this at sunrise. We're having 40-mile-per-hour or stronger wind gust. Every now and then it'll calm down a little bit for 5 minutes, and then it'll just come blowing like crazy again. It's been like this all day since sunrise. I've been trying to get up to Blue Truck to try to get it started. Everything's put together. I don't need to do anything but attach a few sensors. That's about it. But I don't dare go up there and raise that hood and get under that hood with this wind blowing the way it is. It's too dangerous. That hood could come flying down on top of me. Look at that flag down there. And see, it's not even blowing hard right now. Maybe it'll calm down here in a little bit. Really need to get that truck started and get it down here. I'll work on it late this afternoon if I have to. We need to go into town too to get some more cat food. I had to lower the easy up because this wind is just nuts. Just crazy. It's hard to even sit inside and relax with the wind blowing so violently, making all kind of noise and crap. Well, it's been like this for the last 2 months, basically, every day almost. Wow, has it been windy today. I noticed had another elk visit overnight. Doesn't look like a big one. I don't know, I guess looks like they jumped over the fence into our yard, because that's really close to the fence right there. If they pooped right before they jumped, they'd have to be a really short elk. Oh me. This back area right here, I'd like to get have a little garden. Not planted in the ground, but some pots or something, or maybe some hay bales. I had a friend that planted a garden, and she planted it in the bale. She just pulled the hay back and put the plant in there and watered it, and it took. So we'll have a few plants. I'd like that. We got enough room back here because once we rearrange, all this back area will be completely open. What I want to do is bring the trailer up all the way out here to the street, the tongue, all the way out here to right here, and then park it right here, and then Blue Truck, we can back it in right this way. Just back it in right here, and that way this will all block the view of our yard. And the trailer will come to somewhere about right here, and it'll end. And then right here behind this tree, somewhere in this area right here, we're gonna put the clam. And that way the tree will kind of block it from the wind and the weather too, the sun. Yeah, I can put it right here. Take this area up right here. So the trailer will be here, Blue Truck will be back over there. The clam will be right here, and easy up will probably be close to where it's at, maybe a little over. But behind that, it's just nothing open but yard now. That'll be great. We can have us a little garden back there. And I got another clam. I could put another clam up next to the other clam. So we'll see what we're gonna do. I think there was a elk pile over here too. Yep. That one looks old though. Oh well. Looks like the ground squirrel has been tearing it up. This yard's going to get out of hand soon if we ever get any rain. Hopefully, I'm taking my shovel and I'm taking all these weeds out right through here. I don't think I'll go very much further right here, but all this right here, all these weeds, I'm going to get out with my shovel. That way it'll help Brad and also me too. You know, I'm thinking I'll probably end up getting an electric weed eater. That way I could keep my yard weeded down. Because it's going to get rough right back here if it'll ever get any rain. All these weeds, so they're going to end up looking like something like this right here. So, yeah, I'm doing a few weeds right here. I think I'll stop right here because I'm going to put the clam down right here. So I want to try to get all these weeds up out of here. And on my side of the fence up to the street, like I've done over there, that was all weeds. And it'll help lose water in these trees. You can see this one is growing. These weeds just soak up all the water from the tree. So we'll get up here and get this truck running. The story of my life. Me and Blue Truck. We're a pair. It's a beautifully windy freaking day here. I don't know if you can call this windy. Gusty. And I think it's more than breezy. Definitely gusty, but I feel like gusty just isn't enough. What do y'all think? What would come after gusty? Alright, let's get serious. Maybe not. All we really have to do up here is there's a couple of fuel lines that are fairly easy to get to. And then all these electrical connectors have to go someplace. And then this, there's a sensor down here. That's what this wire is for. I have to get this, screw this sensor into the pipe and then secure it in place so it doesn't move with this wire just for the time being. Hook up all these sensors and these fuel lines, like, you know, you can see this one right here. I've already put pipe sealing on there. And then there's two over here on the left side. They will be rather difficult. They're not horrible to get to, but they're not that easy either. There's one here and then one below. Those will be easy. Those two over there. And then all these electrical connectors. That's all that's left. Well, I've already loosened the lid. I need to take, after I get the fuel lines hooked up, I need to open up the fuel bowl lid. I'm not going to do it now and get dirt in it with all this wind. And pour some diesel in there. I wish I had some ATF on me, but no, it's in the storage in Mesa where everything else is that we need. Our air conditioners and fans and everything else are there too. We need to go retrieve ASAP. This is what happens when your health decides it has a different idea and it doesn't care what your ideas are. Okay, let's get this truck running so we can park it down there where it belongs. Wonder if the wind will stop blowing tomorrow. It's supposed to. It's supposed to weaken to 15 to 25 rather than this 30 to 45. Look at that flag down there, that thing. Whew. Some of these poor trees, they're not gonna make it. This one's doing good. That right there is doing good. That must have a lot of water. Deep taproot or something. But the rest of them aren't doing that great. That one right there. That one on the end, it's a goner. That one on the other side of the white fifth wheel, it's a goner too. There's a couple of more in here. It's sad because the lady planted all these, and she's watched them, you know, grow and get large in the trees, and now they're dying. So I bet that's really hard for her to handle. It's the drought. People can deny all you want to, but I mean, and then all these pine trees with the pine beetles. If it wasn't because of the drought, they wouldn't be able to, beetles wouldn't be able to kill these trees. Oh well. I'm up there working on Blue Truck and did a few things. Don't need a whole lot. We're gonna definitely try to get it started and move down here tonight. If we don't get it started tonight, we're gonna get it over here tomorrow some way or another. Tomorrow it will be in part right there. Hopefully it's not leaking. But we're gonna order a few more parts for it now that we've dug into it and seen what's going on, so we can fix some of the stuff that got our attention. But at the moment, I still have a lot of time. There's so much glare up there, it's really hard for me to see. I'm gonna let the sun go down a little bit and give me something to eat anyway. It's time for me to eat. I have to eat every 2 or 3 hours. Well, here we are trying to wrap this thing up for real. Start it up and move it. I don't know if all that will be accomplished at this go around. If everything goes smooth, there's a big possibility, but the oil pump and the fuel bowl both will have to be primed, and the only thing that's really left to do is connect, let's see, this fuel line, and then there are 2 over here on this side that are a little tricky to get to, but this one and the other ones, and then that's it, other than plugging in all the connectors, all the electrical connectors. God, I don't know how many of them there are. So let's get to it now that we can see what we're doing. The sun was so bright and at a spot in the sky where it was, man, it was so glary, it was really hard for me to see. Now I can put my light on and see so much better. Okay, so yeah, we've got this fuel line, that fuel line, and then there are 2 right down there. Yeah, they're going to be kind of tricky to get to, but we got them off. We can get them back on. They're not super tight, but they are hard lines, which will make a difference. Back out of here. And then once we get all that connected, maybe they'll go on smoothly. They ought to, but who knows? We haven't even really tried to put them on. I'd like to do it, you know, but get them hand by hand started. That way, you know, they're on there correctly. When we get those on there and then all the electrical hooked up, we do have that one sensor right here we have to screw into the pipe. That's that exhaust back pressure sensor or something. There's a tube that goes around to the header on that side of the engine, and that's the platform on the top. And it did connect over to the cover. See, I cut it. See where I cut it? It's moved out of place a little bit. But I cut it because you have to get that cover off to get to the bolt to take the whole assembly off. I am not going to take that tube off of that header that's been on there for 24 years. Not going to do it. So I'll cut it, and I'll eventually drill me 2 holes, and we'll put a small little piece of metal, and we'll put a couple of rivets, and we'll be in business. But for now, we're going to tie it off so it won't rattle. We'll be in business. After we get that done, we need to take this off, fill it full of oil, take this off. I've got this one loose, and fill it full of diesel, but only after we have all the lines hooked up. So wish me well that these lines will go on smoothly, especially these 2 that are hard to get to. Now the wind has significantly calmed down. It's still very windy, but not 40-mile-per-hour gusts that like knock you off your feet. But we've made good progress here. We've got the 2 fuel lines on this side tightened down, ready to go. So now we move on over to the other side, which they're significantly harder to get to. But there's only 2 of them. After those 2, all that's left is hooking up all these sensors. After we hook up the sensors, we'll have to take this cover off the reservoir and fill it full of oil. And then what I probably will do is take the lid off the fuel bowl here. I've already gotten it loose, and fill that up with fuel once we get all the lines full. Then we will take the cover off of the oil reservoir, fill it full of oil, and we may try to crank it a time or 2 to see if it depletes the oil in the reservoir. Then we can add more to it. So that's where we're at. We got 2 fuel lines over here on this side to connect. After that, it is downhill. So wish me luck on these 2 fuel lines over here. I'm going to need them both. That wind today has been relentless, let me tell you. Relentless. But this is nice to be able to pull this down like this. If not, I would have had to probably take the roof off today, because we did get some above 40-mile-per-hour gusts. It was rough. And it was like that all day. So, all right, we are really close. We are that close right there. We have one more fuel line to connect, and then the rest is just electrical connectors. Once we get all those connectors plugged in, we need to fill the fuel bowl up, and then after that we need to take the cover off of the oil reservoir and fill it on the HPOP. It's not that big a deal. Hopefully it's not. Now we're gonna have to fill the reservoir up with oil. This cover right here is gonna have to come off, which means all those bolts are gonna have to come off. Oh, that's where we're at. Yeah, real close. You can see those 2 fittings in there. Got the front one done, tightened. Now we'll work on the back one. It's already started hand tighten. So what's wild with these is they're such a fine thread that you just tighten and tighten and tighten and tighten and tighten. Well, we're down to tightening the last fuel line, that one on the back there. We hand started them all. Front one is tight. Now we need to put a wrench on the back one. Those things are sketchy. You put a wrench on them and you tighten and tighten and tighten and tighten and tighten and tighten and tighten, and you're like, oh my God, is it stripped out? Because it's brass on both sides. That's why you got to start it by hand. But no, it's just a really fine thread, and you can only move it up like 1/8 of a turn or 1/4 of a turn with a wrench, so it takes a good many turns to get it tight. And once we do that, then everything is secure. And the next thing will be plugging in all these sensors. They're pretty self-explanatory. And then after that, I've already loosened the fuel bowl here, lid. I'll take the lid off after we have everything tightened and plugged in, and pour diesel in there. I wish I had some ATF. I'd rather have some ATF Mercon, but we don't here with us. This is the storage in Mesa, so you know where everything else is. So after we put fuel in there, we'll tighten the lid back up. Then we'll take this sensor out of this port right here, and we'll get us a funnel, and we'll fill up the oil reservoir to the HPOP. And then we'll hook the batteries up. And then cross your fingers. And the wind continues to blow. It has let up a little bit, but not a whole lot. It's still been very windy all day. You can tell how windy it is when you have this all over the place. This is the silicone paint that goes on all these RV roofs. And when it gets real windy, it blows off. So this is not, my color is tan. That's not mine. Alright, we've got, would you believe it? Everything is bolted down, tightened up, in the correct place. Everything is installed. We've got all the electrical connectors plugged in, clicked in place, locked in place. All the bolts are tightened and torqued down. So now what we need to do is fill the fuel bowl with some fuel. I'd really like to have some ATF fluid, but it's in storage in Mesa. So we'll just use some diesel fuel instead. And then after that, we will take off the sensor that on the lid of the oil reservoir on the HPOP and get us a funnel and fill up the oil reservoir. And then we will check the batteries, make sure we got a decent charge, and then we'll connect the batteries and start it up. We may want to add some oil to the reservoir after it cranks a time or two, so we'll check on that. And then when all is well, we'll try to start it, and it probably will run really rough for a little while because both the fuel bowl will have air in it. There'll be air in the fuel system, and then there'll be air in the oiling system that runs the injectors. The injectors run off of this HPOP. It doesn't oil the engine, it runs the injectors. So probably not going to run very smooth until we get all that air worked out. But Hopefully it'll run enough to get down here and park in the driveway in our space and not leak. Our baby's back home. Kiki! Kiki! Come and look at Blue Truck! Blue Truck's home. We are so thankful to have you back home with us where you belong, baby girl. Oh my God, you just don't know. And so far, no leaks. Started up pretty good too. Oh my God. Wow. Amazing. Thank you, Jesus. Whew. Well, mission accomplished. What happened? Oh my God. What happened to Blue Truck? It's down there where it belongs. Oh my God, you don't know how happy I am. It started up fairly easy. And I checked and no leaks. And I cranked it up and we drove it down there and parked it and opened the hood and still no leaks. So here we are. Thank you, Jesus. We sure do appreciate that. So let's clean up our mess. This is what we ended up with. The truck really fit all the way on here. There's nothing back here at the back. It's all right here. And I'm glad I doubled all this cardboard so nothing got on the ground. But it's a mess. Look at that. Okay, let's clean up our mess. Man, about worn out. All these rocks that were placed on the tarp. I had to pick up one load left to go. Take it over there to the pile. No more Blue Truck. No more tarp. No more rocks. Let's go home where Blue Truck is. Well, we got Blue Truck home. This is just awesome. I am so happy. You just don't know how happy I am. And it's like empty, so it's hard to realize how happy I am. We've got quite a show going on with the moon and some planet or star. And it's not that late, so it'll get a lot darker. This is a dark sky area, so you can see the Milky Way. I haven't seen it yet. Haven't been up late enough. Man, I'm tired. God, it's so awesome to have Blue Truck back. It started up. It's not leaking. So far, it's not leaking. Oh my God. This is just awesome. Mission accomplished. We are home. And no leaks. Oh my God, I'm so thrilled. I won't be able to sleep tonight. I'm so happy. Thank you, Blue Truck.